First contact. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the Galactic Council's flagship, the Celestial Arbiter. Its sleek, crystalline hull glimmered with the light of distant stars as it approached the unremarkable yellow dwarf star system on the outer spiral arm of the Milky Way. Captain Zixnera, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin, stood at the helm, her four eyes fixed on the small blue planet that was their destination. "Sensors confirm, Admiral," she reported, her melodious voice tinged with curiosity. "The third planet from the star shows signs of sapient life and rudimentary technology." Admiral Vorn, a grizzled veteran of countless first contacts, nodded his bulbous head. His species, the Coolians, were known for their analytical minds and cautious approach. "Very well, Captain. Initiate standard protocol for pre-FTL civilizations. We'll observe for a standard rotation before making our presence known." As the Celestial Arbiter settled into a high orbit around Earth, hidden from the primitive radar systems of the humans, the crew began their observations. They watched in fascination as the blue and green orb spun below them, teeming with life and bustling with activity. "Admiral, you might want to see this," called out Lieutenant Krax, the ship's xenobiologist. His tentacles waved in agitation as he gestured towards his monitor. "These humans, they're remarkably diverse for a single species, and their technology, while primitive, shows an unusual rate of advancement." Admiral Vorn lumbered over to the station, his interest piqued. As he studied the data scrolling across the screen, his expression shifted from curiosity to concern. "This is unexpected. Their technological progress is accelerating at an alarming rate. If this continues, they could achieve FTL capabilities within a few of their centuries." Captain Zixnera joined them, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement. "Perhaps we should expedite the contact process, Admiral. If they're advancing this quickly, they might detect our presence soon." Vorn considered this for a moment, his multiple brain lobes processing the potential outcomes. "Agreed. Prepare a first contact team. We'll use the standard diplomatic approach. Remember, these humans are still a pre-FTL civilization. They're likely to be overwhelmed by our presence." As the crew bustled with preparations, Vorn couldn't shake a nagging feeling. Something about these humans seemed different. But surely they were just another young species, barely out of their planetary cradle. How much trouble could they really be? The next day, as dawn broke over the United Nations headquarters in New York, a shimmering light appeared in the sky. The Celestial Arbiter decloaked, its massive form casting a shadow over the city. Panic ensued as humans around the world witnessed the arrival of the alien ship through their screens and devices. Inside the UN building, world leaders scrambled to convene an emergency session. Military forces worldwide were put on high alert, their weapons trained on the sky, despite the futility of such actions against a spacefaring civilization. A holographic projection appeared above the UN building, showing Admiral Vorn and his delegation. His translated voice boomed across the city. "People of Earth, do not be alarmed. We come in peace as representatives of the Galactic Council. We wish to welcome you to the greater cosmic community." The response from humanity was a cacophony of reactions: fear, wonder, skepticism, and hope all mingled together. As the alien delegation descended to meet with Earth's representatives, no one could have predicted the profound impact this encounter would have on the galaxy. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a renowned astrophysicist, was among the first humans to greet the aliens. As she shook hands, or appendages, with Admiral Vorn, she couldn't help but notice the look of surprise on the alien's face. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We have so many questions for you." Vorn blinked his multiple eyes, taken aback by the human's composure. "And we for you, Dr. Rodriguez. Your species has progressed far more rapidly than we anticipated. We are curious about your potential." As the initial meetings progressed, it became clear that humanity's response to first contact was unlike anything the Galactic Council had experienced before. Instead of the expected awe and subservience, humans approached the situation with a mix of cautious optimism and burning curiosity. They asked probing questions about galactic politics, technology, and culture. They offered their own insights and inventions, some of which genuinely surprised the alien delegation. And perhaps most strikingly, they immediately began to consider how they could contribute to the larger galactic community. Admiral Vorn found himself constantly recalibrating his expectations. These humans were adaptable, quick-thinking, and possessed an insatiable drive to understand and explore. As the first day of contact drew to a close, he sent a private message to the Galactic Council. Initial assessment of humanity may have been flawed. Recommend close observation and careful integration. These beings have the potential to be either our greatest allies or our most formidable challenge. As night fell on that historic day, both humans and aliens retired to process the monumental events that had transpired. Neither side fully grasped the profound changes that this encounter would bring to the galaxy. Humanity stood on the brink of a new era, ready to take its first steps into a larger universe. And the universe, for its part, was about to discover that it had greatly underestimated the potential of this young species from a small blue planet in an unremarkable corner of the galaxy. The stage was set for humanity to prove itself among the stars. Little did anyone know, the true test of their capabilities was yet to come. The challenge. 6 months after first contact, Earth was abuzz with activity. The initial shock had given way to a frenzy of adaptation and learning. Humanity, true to form, was absorbing alien knowledge at an unprecedented rate, while simultaneously amazing their galactic neighbors with their own unique perspectives and innovations. In the newly established Galactic Embassy in Geneva, Dr. Elena Rodriguez pored over the latest reports from the various human-alien cooperation projects. Her eyes widened as she read about a breakthrough in fusion technology, achieved through a collaboration between MIT scientists and Kulian engineers. Remarkable, she muttered, shaking her head in amazement. At this rate, we'll have clean, unlimited energy within a decade. Her musings were interrupted by a soft chime. The holographic display on her desk flickered to life, revealing the serene face of Captain Zixnera. Dr. Rodriguez, the alien greeted, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing gently. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. Elena smiled warmly. Over the past months, she had developed a friendship with the Celestial Arbiter's captain. Not at all, Zix. What can I do for you? The alien's expression turned serious. The Galactic Council has made a decision. They want to formally test humanity's readiness for full integration into the galactic community. Elena felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. A test? What kind of test? It's called the Cosmic Crucible, Zixnera explained. It's a series of challenges designed to evaluate a species' problem-solving abilities, adaptability, and ethical standards. Every spacefaring race must pass it to gain full status in the Council. Elena leaned back in her chair, her mind racing. I see. And what happens if we fail? Zixnera's luminescence dimmed slightly. Failure would mean limited access to galactic resources and restricted travel rights. Your development would be closely monitored. The implications were clear. This was humanity's chance to prove itself worthy of the stars. Elena took a deep breath. When does it start? In one standard galactic month, Zixnera replied. A delegation from Earth will be transported to the Crucible Station. You'll face 3 trials, each testing different aspects of your species' capabilities. As news of the Cosmic Crucible spread, Earth's government scrambled to assemble a team that would represent humanity. After weeks of heated debate and rigorous testing, a diverse group of 12 individuals was chosen. Scientists, engineers, diplomats, and even a few wildcards that the selection committee felt represented humanity's unique approach to problem-solving. On the day of departure, the chosen team gathered at the newly constructed spaceport outside of Cape Canaveral. Dr. Rodriguez, selected as the team leader, stood before her colleagues, her expression a mix of determination and nervous energy. We carry the hopes and dreams of our entire species with us, she addressed the team. But remember, we're not just competing for ourselves. This is our chance to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. As they boarded the sleek alien shuttle that would take them to the Crucible station, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. Once again, humanity stood on the brink of a new frontier, facing the unknown with a mix of trepidation and excitement. The journey to the Crucible station took several days, during which the team prepared as best they could. They studied the limited information provided about previous crucibles, practiced problem-solving scenarios, and attempted to anticipate what challenges they might face. Finally, the shuttle docked at an enormous space station that seemed to be made of living crystal. As the human team disembarked, they were greeted by a panel of alien judges, each representing a different spacefaring species. The head judge, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent shell, floated forward. Its voice resonated directly in their minds. Welcome, humans, to the cosmic crucible. Are you prepared to face the trials that will determine your species' place in the galactic community? Elena stepped forward, her voice unwavering. We are. The energy being pulsed with what might have been approval. Very well. Your first trial begins now. Suddenly, the crystal walls around them shimmered and transformed. The team found themselves standing on what appeared to be the surface of an alien world. The sky was a deep purple, and twin suns cast an eerie glow over a landscape of twisted rock formations and shimmering pools of liquid metal. The judge's voice echoed in their minds once more. This is a simulation of planet XOR-7, a world rich in resources but highly unstable. Your challenge is to establish a sustainable colony here within the equivalent of one Earth week. You must overcome the planet's harsh conditions and unpredictable phenomena while adhering to the Galactic Council's environmental protection laws. As the implications of the challenge sank in, Elena turned to her team. She saw a mix of emotions on their faces: fear, excitement, determination. But underlying it all was a distinctly human quality, the spark of ingenuity in the face of the impossible. All right, team, she said, her voice filled with resolve. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do. As they began to analyze their surroundings and formulate a plan, none of them realized that this was just the beginning. The true tests of human resilience, creativity, and spirit were yet to come. The cosmic crucible would push them to their limits and beyond, forcing them to confront not just external challenges, but the very essence of what it meant to be human. Little did they know, their performance here would have consequences that would ripple across the entire galaxy, forever changing the cosmic order. The stage was set, and humanity's greatest trial was about to unfold. Human ingenuity. As the twin suns of XOR-7 cast their alien light across the shimmering landscape, the human team sprang into action. Dr. Elena Rodriguez quickly organized her colleagues into task forces, each tackling a different aspect of the monumental challenge before them. All right, people, she announced, her voice steady despite the pressure. We've got one Earth week to make this inhospitable rock livable. Let's show them what humanity can do. Dr. Amit Patel, a climatologist with a knack for thinking outside the box, was the first to make a breakthrough. As he studied the volatile atmosphere of XOR-7, a spark of inspiration hit him. The metal pools, he exclaimed, drawing curious looks from his teammates. They're not just a hazard. They're an opportunity. If we can harness the electromagnetic properties of these liquid metals, we might be able to create a protective field against the planet's harsh radiation. Elena's eyes lit up. Brilliant. Aim it. Work with Dr. Chen to develop a prototype. We'll need it up and running as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Dr. Isabella Morales, an expert in xenobiology, made a startling discovery. The twisted rock formations weren't just geological oddities. They were alive. These structures, she explained, pointing to her findings, they're silicon-based life forms, slow-growing, but incredibly resilient. If we can communicate with them, they might be the key to stabilizing the planet's crust. As the team worked tirelessly, their alien observers watched in fascination. The judges had expected the humans to falter in the face of such an overwhelming challenge. Instead, they witnessed something unprecedented. The humans didn't just adapt to the harsh conditions, they thrived on them. Every setback was met with renewed determination. Every obstacle became an opportunity for innovation. When a sudden geomagnetic storm threatened to destroy their fledgling colony, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a quantum physicist, proposed a daring solution. We can use the storm itself as a power source, she explained, her eyes gleaming with excitement. If we build a network of conductors across the colony, we can channel that energy and use it to power our systems. The risk was enormous, but the potential payoff was too great to ignore. As the storm raged overhead, the team worked frantically to implement Yuki's plan. When the dust settled, not only had they survived, but their colony now had a surplus of clean, renewable energy. By the fifth day, the human team had achieved what the judges had believed impossible. A functional, sustainable colony stood where before there had been only hostile terrain. But they weren't done yet. Dr. Rodriguez gathered her team for one final push. "We've proven we can survive here," she said, her voice filled with pride and determination. "Now let's show them we can thrive." In the last 2 days, the team went above and beyond the parameters of the challenge. They established communication with the silicon life forms, learning from their unique biology to create structures that could withstand the planet's frequent tectonic shifts. They developed a method to transmute the liquid metal pools into a versatile building material. They even found a way to seed the atmosphere with engineered bacteria that began the process of making the air breathable. As the simulation came to an end, the human team stood before their creation. Not just a colony, but the beginnings of a world transformed. The alien judges materialized around them, their expressions, for those who had discernible features, a mix of shock and awe. The energy being that led the panel pulsed with an intensity they hadn't seen before. In all our years overseeing the cosmic crucible, it communicated, "We have never witnessed such ingenuity. You have not only completed the challenge but exceeded our highest expectations." Helena stepped forward, exhausted but proud. "Thank you," she said, speaking for her team and for humanity. "But this is just a glimpse of what we're capable of. We're just getting started." As the simulation faded away and they found themselves back on the crystal station, the team knew they had just changed the game. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their physical capabilities, but their boundless creativity and their ability to unite in the face of adversity. The energy being's next words sent a ripple of excitement through the team. "Rest now, humans. You have earned it. But be prepared. The next trial will test more than your problem-solving skills. It will challenge the very core of who you are as a species." As they were led to their quarters to recuperate, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that they had just taken their first real step into the galactic community. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that humanity was ready to face them head-on. Little did they know, their performance in this first trial had sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. In their quest to test humanity, they had inadvertently revealed a force that could reshape the very fabric of galactic society. The next trials would not just test humanity, they would determine the future of the entire galaxy. As the human team rested and prepared for their next challenge, whispers began to spread through the station. Something unprecedented was happening, and humanity was at the center of it all. The cosmic crucible was about to become far more than a simple test. It was about to become the backdrop for a paradigm shift that would echo across the stars. The turning point. The human team had barely caught their breath from the first trial when alarms blared throughout the crucible station. Red lights flashed, and the crystalline walls pulsed with an urgent energy. Dr. Elena Rodriguez and her team rushed to the central chamber, where they found the alien judges in a state of panic. The energy being that led the panel swirled in agitation. We must suspend the trials, it announced, its mental voice tinged with fear. A crisis has emerged that threatens the entire galaxy. Before anyone could react, a holographic display materialized in the center of the room. It showed a massive, swirling vortex of dark energy, steadily expanding and consuming everything in its path. This is the Void Cascade, the energy being explained, a phenomenon we thought was merely theoretical. It's a tear in the fabric of space-time, and it's growing exponentially. At its current rate, it will consume our entire galaxy within a standard galactic year. The human team exchanged glances, the gravity of the situation sinking in. This was no longer about proving themselves. The fate of every species in the Milky Way hung in the balance. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the quantum physicist, stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. "May I?" she asked, gesturing towards the controls. The aliens, too shocked to object, allowed her access. Yuki's fingers flew over the alien interface, quickly adapting to its unfamiliar layout. As she worked, the display zoomed in on the edge of the Void Cascade, revealing complex energy patterns that pulsed and shifted. "It's not just consuming matter," Yuki muttered, her brow furrowed in concentration. "It's rewriting the laws of physics as it expands. That's why your conventional methods can't stop it." Alina placed a hand on Yuki's shoulder. "Do you have any ideas?" Yuki nodded slowly, a spark of inspiration in her eyes. "Maybe, but it's going to sound crazy." "Crazy is what we do best," Alina replied with a grim smile. She turned to the alien judges. "We need access to all the data you have on this phenomenon, and we need it now." What followed was a whirlwind of activity. The human team, initially brought together to face the cosmic crucible, now found themselves working to save the entire galaxy. They pored over alien scientific texts, debated theories, and pushed the boundaries of their understanding of the universe. Dr. Amit Patel, drawing on his experience with the electromagnetic fields of XOR-7, proposed a radical idea. "What if we don't try to stop the Void Cascade?" he suggested. "What if we redirect it?" The alien scientists scoffed at first, but as Amit explained his theory, their skepticism turned to cautious hope. By creating a massive network of gravity wells and electromagnetic fields, they might be able to guide the Void Cascade away from inhabited space. Dr. Isabella Morales, remembering the silicon-based life forms from their first trial, had another insight. "We need to think beyond conventional matter," she said. "If we can synthesize a form of exotic matter based on the silicon creature's biology, we might be able to create a barrier that the void can't easily consume." As the team worked tirelessly to refine their plan, Alina noticed something remarkable. The aliens, who had initially viewed humans as primitive newcomers, were now looking to them for leadership. Humanity's unique approach to problem-solving, their ability to think laterally and combine disparate ideas, was proving to be exactly what was needed in this crisis. Days turned into weeks as the team raced against time. The Void Cascade continued to grow, swallowing star systems whole. But slowly, surely, a plan took shape. It would require the combined resources of every spacefaring race in the galaxy. Massive structures would need to be built in the void of space, powered by the energy of entire stars. The plan was audacious, borderline impossible, and it was humanity's best hope. As Alina presented the final proposal to the Galactic Council, she felt the weight of countless lives on her shoulders. "This plan is dangerous," she admitted. "There's no guarantee of success, but it's the best chance we have." The council chamber was silent for a long moment. Then, one by one, the representatives of each alien race stood. "We stand with humanity," they declared, their voices joining in a chorus of unity. As the Galactic Alliance mobilized, Alina turned to her team. Their eyes were tired, but filled with determination. "I don't know if we'll succeed," she said softly. "But I do know this: today, humanity has proven that we belong among the stars. Whatever happens next, we face it together, not just as humans, but as citizens of the galaxy. As they set off to implement their daring plan, none of them could have predicted the profound impact this crisis would have. Win or lose, humanity had changed the course of galactic history. The true test of their ingenuity, courage, and spirit was about to begin, and the entire universe watched with bated breath. A new era. The vastness of space became a canvas for the most ambitious project in galactic history. Massive structures, each the size of a small moon, formed an intricate network around the expanding void cascade. These gravity manipulators and electromagnetic field generators, built with technology from a dozen different species and powered by the energy of captured stars, stood as a testament to what could be achieved when the galaxy united. At the heart of it all was the human team, coordinating efforts and making split-second decisions as new challenges arose. Dr. Elena Rodriguez hadn't slept in days, her eyes red-rimmed but alert, as she directed operations from the command center of the flagship Unity, a vessel that dwarfed even the largest ships in the Galactic Council's fleet. "Energy levels are holding steady," reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. "The gravity web is responding as predicted. We're ready for Phase 2. Elena nodded, taking a deep breath. This was it. The moment of truth. "Initiate the redirection sequence," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the air. Across the galaxy, billions of beings held their breath as the plan was set in motion. The massive array of devices activated simultaneously, creating a ripple in the fabric of spacetime. The void cascade, that insatiable maw of destruction, began to slow its expansion. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to change. Then, almost imperceptibly at first, the trajectory of the void began to shift. "It's working," exclaimed Dr. Amit Patel, his eyes wide with disbelief and joy. "The cascade is being redirected." A cheer went up from the crew, echoed across communication channels throughout the galaxy. But Elena knew it was too early to celebrate. "Stay focused," she reminded everyone. "We're not out of danger yet." As if in response to her caution, alarms began to blare. The void cascade, as if sensing the attempt to control it, lashed out with tendrils of dark energy. Several of the gravity manipulators were instantly vaporized. "We're losing containment in sectors 7 through 12, reported an alien technician, his multiple appendages working furiously to compensate. Elena's mind raced. They hadn't anticipated this level of resistance. If they lost too many more devices, the entire plan would fail, and the galaxy would be doomed. It was Dr. Isabella Morales who provided the solution. The exotic matter barrier. She shouted over the chaos. "If we reconfigure it to act as a channel instead of just a shield, we can guide the void's energy back on itself." It was a dangerous gambit. If it failed, it could accelerate the cascade's expansion. But they were out of options. "Do it," Elena commanded. What followed was a tense battle of wills, the collective determination of a united galaxy against the mindless destruction of the void cascade. For hours that felt like eternity, they fought, adjusting strategies on the fly, compensating for each new challenge the void presented. And then, almost anticlimactically, it was over. The void cascade, redirected and contained, collapsed in on itself, shrinking to a pinpoint before winking out of existence. Silence fell across the command center, broken only by the soft peeps of equipment. Then, slowly, realization dawned. They had done it. They had saved the galaxy. The celebration that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Species that had been bitter enemies for millennia embraced as brothers. The barriers of language and culture fell away in the face of shared jubilation and relief. In the days that followed, as the galaxy began to rebuild and recover, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The energy being that had once judged humanity now addressed them with a newfound respect. "Humans," it began, its mental voice resonating with emotion. "You came to us as candidates, seeking to prove your worth. Instead, you have become our saviors. your creativity, your adaptability, your indomitable spirit in the face of impossible odds. These are qualities that we in our ancient wisdom had forgotten the value of. The council chamber erupted in agreement. Species after species stood to voice their support for humanity's full and immediate integration into galactic society. But it was Elena who surprised everyone with her response. "We are honored by your offer," she said, addressing the assembled representatives of the galaxy. "But we don't seek to rule or to be placed above others. What we've achieved here was only possible because we worked together, each contributing our unique strengths." She paused, looking around the room. Perhaps it's time for a new way forward. Not a council that judges from on high, but a true galactic community where every voice is heard and every species can reach its full potential. Her words sparked a murmur that grew into a roar of approval. In that moment, the old order of the galaxy crumbled, and a new era was born. In the years that followed, humanity took its place among the stars not as conquerors or subservient newcomers, but as catalysts for change. The lessons learned during the Void Cascade crisis led to a renaissance of scientific and cultural exchange. The galaxy entered a golden age of exploration and discovery, with humans often at the forefront, their unique perspective continuing to challenge established norms and push the boundaries of what was thought possible. As Elena stood on the observation deck of Unity, now transformed into a center of learning and cooperation, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From a small blue planet, uncertain of its place in the cosmos, to the heart of a galactic community they had helped to reshape. The stars stretched out before her, no longer distant and unreachable, but filled with possibility and promise. Humanity had found its place in the universe, and in doing so, had helped the universe find a better version of itself. As new challenges loomed on the horizon, Elena smiled. Whatever the future held, she knew that together, there was nothing they couldn't face. The age of humanity had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the cosmic story.